Good morning, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. May peace and blessings be showered amongst you all. My name is Hanadi Doleh. I'm Director of Community Partnerships at the Interfaith Center of New York. The Interfaith Center of New York's mission is to overcome prejudice, violence, and misunderstanding by activating the power of the city's grassroots religious and civic leaders and their communities. We are delighted you will be joining us today for the Interfaith Center of New York's 40th Rabbi Marshall T. Meyer Retreat for Social Justice. Today's conference will focus on Housing Now, Faith Communities' Call to Action. ICNY is co-hosting this conference with the Office of the New York City Comptroller, Brad Lander. The Rabbi Marshall Meyer Retreat for Social Justice is the Interfaith Center of New York's flagship program and provides principal venues for interfaith dialogue on social justice issues. This program is aptly named after the late Rabbi Marshall Meyer, former spiritual leader of Congregation B'nai Jeshurun and a faith-based social justice visionary. These conferences are professional development and capacity building opportunities for local religious leaders, allowing faith leaders to learn more about social issues, creating multi-faith networks for mutual support, and meet civic leaders and social activists. For many decades, the New York metropolitan area has suffered from an increase in shortage of affordable housing. The COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the upsurge in migrant arrivals, have only increased the need for housing. Market rents in New York City are increasing faster than in any large city in the country. This is no surprise given the combination of restricted development policies and steep population growth from the previous decade. As New York City begins to recover from COVID-19 pandemic, market rents have sharply risen, leaving low-income individuals to be faced with upscale redevelopment projects and rising rents they cannot afford. Faith leaders and their communities play a unique role in addressing the housing crisis. Faith-based organizations and houses of worship are responding to skyrocketing prices with initiatives ranging from protests and policy proposals to efforts to build affordable homes on underutilized property owned by houses of worship. Clergy members, lay leaders, and faith-based activists have long been at the forefront of our society's response to housing, particularly in marginalized communities. But faith leaders are taking on new roles in the current crisis by utilizing houses of worship as temporary housing for those in need, as well as building new affordable housing sites on their house of worship land. This conference will highlight concrete steps faith leaders can take to address the affordable housing crisis in their local communities and beyond. Today, we will hear from experts that have been at the forefront of our society's response to the crisis of affordable housing. Our goal today is to support diverse New York faith communities as they address the unprecedented challenge. Today's conference is comprised of two parts. The first being this online symposium that will include a keynote panel featuring a keynote reflection featuring New York City Comptroller Brad Lander, who's here today, who has been a leading housing activist for many years, a multi-faith panel reflecting the voices of diverse religious leaders, small group workshops, prayers, and reflections. The second part of our conference will be an in-person affordable housing tour and community conversation at Harlem Congregations for Community Improvement. We'll drop the links in the chat for the location as we have been throughout emails and prepping up for this conference. We ask that you meet us at 4 p.m. in front of 256 West 153rd Street. And with that, I would like to introduce my co-host, Aliya Latif, Director of Strategic Partnerships and Special Projects at the Office of the New York City Comptroller.
Thank you so much, Hanadi. By way of background, as Hanadi mentioned, I'm Comptroller Brad Lander's Director for Strategic Partnerships and Special Projects. I manage his citywide constituency portfolios, many of whom hold portfolios that lift up and amplify the voices of our faith communities, including Nina Saxon here on our call, who manages many of them. I want to start off by thanking the Interfaith Center of New York for all that you do to activate the power of our city's grassroots faith and civic leaderships and their communities. And I want to really thank Hanadi, mostly for taking a lot of my phone calls. I spoke to her more than Mama Latifa in the last 2 months, but also for providing the background and the context of why we are here today and what is at stake. So as you come in and you're dropping your name and affiliation in the chat, also share why you're here. It's important to take a moment to center ourselves in our purpose for coming to today's gathering. I can share with you why I'm here. Housing justice is one of arguably the most pressing issues of our time. And here at the New York City Comptroller's Office, we're excited for this opportunity to explore the intersection of faith and housing with all of you and share resources to further push forward advocacy efforts for the housing we need in New York City. On a personal note, when I first spoke to Hanadi about this conference, I thought of my Sunday school teacher telling the class about a prophetic tradition that says that the lowest form of protest is to feel injustice in your heart. The operative word there was lowest. That hadith, that saying of the prophet, is a call to action. This conference is a call to action. Being a bystander isn't an option for any of us. Each of us have a role. We need an all hands on deck, and we must work in coalition. As such, I want to take the opportunity to recognize the co-sponsors of this event who are actively involved in the housing justice movement: New York State Council of Churches, the Interfaith Assembly on Homelessness and Housing, Acharya CDC, Harlem Congregations for Community Improvement, Teardorf, Habitat for Humanity NYC, Project Hospitality, New York Disaster Interfaith Services. But each and every one of you, again, have a role. So please join us on social media using hashtag faith and housing and hashtag MMR40. After this event, if you have any questions for the Comptroller's Office, you can contact Nicole, who leads our housing organizing work. Her info will be dropped in the chat. And now I want to introduce and then pass the mic to my brother, a dear friend and agent of change, Karma Acharya Vijah Ramjattan. Acharya Vijah is a spiritually conscious interfaith community activist, an artist, an organizer, an advocate for eco-friendly worship, gender injustice, interfaith unity, and youth development. Through active civic participation, through collaboration, through meaningful humanitarian work, Vijay aims to create a culture of devotion in motion. Simply put, faith is a verb to him. In 2017, he founded the United Madrasi Association and has served as the president since its inception. It is a progressive volunteer-based nonprofit organization that is committed to bringing about unity in the community within the Madrasi, Tamil, Caribbean diaspora, and beyond. Vijay, please lead us in prayer.
Please bow your heads in prayer and clap your hands if you're able to do that. And as we bow our heads in prayer, we pray to the universal earth. We pray to Mother Earth, the goddess who provides all that we need in times we need it, and for everyone. We chant, Om Prithvi Tvayadita Loka, Devi Tvam Vishnu Dadatra, Pavitam Kurucha Asanam. O Mother Earth, O divine goddess who provides all that we need to survive and be well. We pray today that you bless all of us, every one of us who has, who does not have. Give us the understanding to provide for those who can't provide for themselves, and bless us to walk on that path of righteousness. Hari Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Thank you.